Hey Ghost Recon fans, have you ever wondered what a true sequel to Ghost Recon Wildlands would actually look like? Well, when it comes down to what the core Ghost Recon community actually wants from the franchise, it is just that, a proper sequel to Ghost Recon Wildlands, i.e. Ghost Recon Wildlands 2. Hey everyone, my name is Juan Solo with A Squad Gaming, and if this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. It is great to have you. Consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things surrounding the Ghost Recon franchise here on the channel, and for those of you that have been here a time or two, welcome back. So it's no secret to anyone who is paying attention on social media or anywhere surrounding the Ghost Recon franchise for that matter, that what the core Ghost Recon community really wants is a proper sequel to Ghost Recon Wildlands. Forget all the gear score and tiered loot from Ghost Recon Breakpoint and go back into a gritty open world third-person squad-based military tactical shooter set in a realistic place with an immersive story that you can go about however you want. There were so many cool things in Ghost Recon Wildlands that were thrown to the wayside for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, with the continuous rumors from Tom Henderson that the game is going in a more Call of Duty / Ready or Not style gameplay loop and a return to the first-person perspective, the identity of the Ghost Recon franchise is hanging in the balance. So with all of that being said, here in today's video, we're going to be going down through and discussing the game that the core Ghost Recon community actually wants for the next installment of the franchise. These are not my opinions alone, these are opinions of the Ghost Recon community that I have gathered from multiple areas of social media, including Reddit, Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. Please make sure to leave all of your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comments. Let's start up a discussion and really go into the nitty-gritty detail on what you as the core Ghost Recon community wants for the next installment of the Ghost Recon franchise. When I say that you need to make your voices heard, I truly mean it. So with that being said, real quick before we hop into things, if you guys go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be super appreciated. Also, for those of you that may be new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you do not miss any of my future uploads. So first off, going back to what the community actually wants with a proper sequel to Wildlands, it basically would be a third person with the possibility of a first person toggle, open world squad-based military tactical shooter. It is really just that simple. You take the DNA from Ghost Recon Wildlands and you build upon it with the best features from Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and you have a smash hit that the community will love. I'll be going down through a few different core pillars of what this could actually look like for a Wildlands 2, and like I said, make sure to leave all of your thoughts on this down below. So first things first, when it comes to the world of a Ghost Recon Wildlands 2, it is pretty simple. It needs to feel alive just like Bolivia did in its predecessor, but it also needs to be taken to the next level with the addition of the dynamic world systems of Operation Motherland from Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This was not a hard system to implement into Ghost Recon Breakpoint because in the end, all it really was a new set of missions that would trigger a change in a certain set of parameters. This would not be a hard system to implement into a new game, and having the ability to have dynamic changes to the world as you are playing through it would be the proper next step for an immersive world. Being able to fight over provinces and progress through an open world campaign similar to the first Wildlands, with the addition of dynamic world events, a proper day-night cycle with a full weather system would be the icing on the cake. When it comes to the terrain in the world, once again going back to Wildlands, it was the perfect base DNA for an open world. There were 11 different biomes spread across 21 regions, and the way it intertwined was nothing short of immersive. From the salt flats and arid mountains of Kawani and Media Luna, to the lakes and jungles of Agua Verde and Espiritu Santo, from the forest valleys and greenlands from Ataqua to Okoro, to the highlands and canyons of Flora de Oro and La Cruz, the amount of biome diversity and how it all blended together was one of the best worlds that Ubisoft has ever made. A brand new location with that amount of biome diversity would be essential for Ghost Recon Wildlands 2. Now, when it comes to the story, there are a number of different ways that this could be approached by Ubisoft, including using the story that was present at the very end of Ghost Recon Wildlands. This would probably be the easiest way to do it. Karen Bowman had a suspicion that El Sueño would escape and flee back and start up a new drug cartel, and this would be a perfect story for the sequel, but some people might say that that is too much like the first game, which could be a problem, but I feel like they could do it in a way that it would be okay. They also could come up with a completely new story, but for me personally, I would like to see a continuation of the Wildlands story, Maybe throw in a couple of plot twists that really send the story down an unpredictable path. For example, maybe having El Sueño escape, start up a new drug cartel in the intro of the game, and maybe a new antagonist takes him out and takes over the drug cartel for himself. Maybe he has ties to the US or to the Ghosts, to which then some of the deep state conspiracy stuff could be intertwined into the story as well. There are tons of opportunities to write a good story for a proper Wildlands sequel that at its core is still a third-person tactical shooter. We don't need all of the cutscenes and dialogue choices from Breakpoint because that really dulled down the experience. The way the cutscenes were handled in Ghost Recon Wildlands were almost done to absolute perfection. 95% of the information that you received for your missions was done via radio while you were in the world, which in my personal opinion is how it should be because you shouldn't be constantly taken out of the world just to hear a mission briefing. At the end of each province, there was a short cutscene that gave you all of the information that you needed to know about the boss that you had just taken down, and it was straight and to the point and didn't waste your time. This would be crucial for the next installment because at its core, the gameplay shapes the game, not the cinematic cutscenes. Moving along to the gunsmith and character customization features, it's no secret that the community wants a step up from the previous two games. Being that Wildlands was the first entry to have in-depth character customization, it was a smash hit with the community because it allowed you to exactly play the character that you wanted to play. And let's be honest, who didn't enjoy playing Tactical Barbie in Ghost Recon Wildlands, am I right? Taking that a step further with more in-depth character customization is what the community really wants. More of a step towards what we're seeing in a game like Ground Branch, which allows you to customize every part of your character, including chest rigs, backpack pouches, and more, so that you can get your character exactly the way you want them to be in the field. This also adds a level of immersion because what is actually on your character is what you will have for usable equipment when it comes to magazines, grenades, and other equipment as well. Everything that you have equipped on your character that is usable will be fully displayed on your character model. This would also help with the RP community, which is one of the bigger communities currently involved with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Being able to kit your character out exactly the way you want so that you can roleplay is what really keeps the game alive and thriving today, especially with the addition of mods for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I think the icing on the cake with the character customization would also be the addition of a proper camo system, meaning that what camo you're wearing actually affects the visibility that you have depending on the biome that you are in. If you want to wear snow camo in the jungle, you're going to be seen quite quickly, but if you switch over to a jungle multicam ghillie suit, the detection distance for the enemy AI will be drastically decreased. This was something that was coded into the game with the optical camo in Operation Motherland in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I'm obviously no developer, but adding a set of parameters that could be adjusted depending on what you are wearing and what biome shouldn't really be that difficult. This was done all the way back in the original Metal Gear Solid 3. So I really don't see it being that big of an issue to finally add this to the Ghost Recon franchise. Moving along to the weapon customization, it just needs to be more expanded upon from the previous two games. Even though it isn't realistic, I would love to see the return of the gas system customization from Ghost Recon Future Soldier, which would allow you to overgas or undergas the weapon. This would in turn increase or decrease the fire rate, but also increase or decrease recoil depending on what you choose. Also, having the ability to put multiple rail attachments like lasers and flashlights that actually work would be a nice touch. Allowing us to put multiple optics on a weapon like a long-range voodoo scope and a canted red dot would also be a nice touch. Allowing us to fully customize our weapons however we see fit and getting away from the variant system that was added to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Also including different types of ammo to be able to equip in your weapon would be really nice as well. Every weapon should be able to be realistically customized within reason. I don't think they could go to the levels of weapon customization that is in a game, for instance, like Escape from Tarkov, but finding a happy medium between what there is now and a game like that is absolutely crucial. Now, moving on to the last thing that I wanted to touch on here today, and that would be the AI. Having an enemy that actually values its life and has every ability that you as the player has is extremely important. Having enemies that actually take cover, suppress, flank, and actually value their lives would be a huge step in the right direction for the AI. It would also be nice to actually have feedback when you hit someone. Instead of having a gamified hit marker, it would be nice to actually see the enemy react to being shot. There are dozens of games out there that do this right, but I always think back to GoldenEye 007 that was released in 1997 for the Nintendo 64. Enemies in that game properly reacted to being shot, and if they could do it all the way back in 97 on the Nintendo 64, I'm sure Ubisoft could do it in Wildlands too. No more shotgun rushers from Ghost Recon Breakpoint, please. In addition to this, I would like to see a more in-depth squad control system. If you go all the way back to the original Ghost Recon, it was a squad-based military tactical shooter which allowed you to micromanage all of your AI teammates. This, in my opinion, would be the pillar for the franchise moving forward. The current AI control system in the last 2 games was a bare minimum at best, and I at least think there should be an option to have in-depth squad controls more in line with the old SOCOM games and the original Ghost Recon. The proper way to do this would be to have a setting that you could change that would allow for a more in-depth AI control system and the current system depending on how you wanted to play. Being able to fully command your squad as a squad leader is paramount for Wildlands 2. With all that being said, I'm sure I missed a number of points in this video, but I didn't want to make this video too crazy long. But in the end, the main point that I wanted to make from myself as well as from the general Ghost Recon community is that Wildlands 2 is all the community really wants. They want a proper sequel to Ghost Recon Wildlands because it should have been the base DNA of the franchise moving forward, building upon the core foundation of Wildlands with the addition of all of the upgrades from Ghost Recon Breakpoint. With a third-person, first-person toggle, open-world squad-based military tactical shooter is what the community has been asking for years. Not to mention it's what they expect. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. I truly appreciate all of the support here on the channel. But that is where I'm going to be wrapping it up for today. So if you guys enjoyed it, you would be excited to see Ghost Recon Wildlands 2. Make sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new to stay up to date on all content surrounding the Ghost Recon franchise here on the channel moving forward. But that is all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.